This is Michael Monroe from a Better Complete Development Engineering firm, and today I'm introducing Property Inspector 4 for LabVIEW. I have been using LabVIEW for over 25 years, and I believe LabVIEW's best feature is the simplicity of parallel programming, and its worst is the outdated modal and single-threaded development environment. LabVIEW includes the Project Explorer window, which has not changed significantly in over 15 years. It shows all of the project items in a tree and one property, the absolute file path. Property Inspector is a replacement for the Project Explorer that automates millions of new, impossible batch processing functions, including displaying up to 44 properties, 20 object filters, 3,700 sorting combinations, unlimited compound searches, 12 new selections, 6 edit modes, quick drop and VI analyzer scripting, and the all-new window manager. New in version 4 is a one-click history of up to 42 custom operations, including 24 searches. It even shows statistics, including the item count, percentage, progress, and total time to perform most operations in the middle status bar. It reads all 44 properties without opening the VIs, including 12 that are missing, like date modified. This customer project was written in 2010, opened in 2016, the top-level VI is open, and I performed a save all back in July. The Project Explorer window shows application as just a virtual folder. But Property Inspector shows it as an LLB with the timestamp of the LLB separate from the contents. Property Inspector includes up to 6 levels of automated search and select. The first search level is the persistent object filter that hides items by 20 types. Under Settings, we can choose which of 20 items to show and which of 44 properties to display. New in Property Inspector 4 is a single-click toggle between all objects and a select few. I will hide all but the first 5. Note that the object types separate a control, typedef, and strict typedef, as well as standard VI and global VI. LabVIEW cannot tell you which controls are strict or which VIs are globals. The second level is sorting. Let's see how easy it is to sort all objects by item name. Next, sort by LabVIEW version. Note the oldest version is 6.1. This VI is not in memory, and the date is 2002. Click to sort by date modified. Note that the top item is the oldest. Click again, and the sort is descending. I use this more than any other function to see the timeline of all changes. Sort by largest data size. This first VI is almost 5 megabytes of data because there's a large array saved in the front panel. VI Analyzer would catch this by looking at the file size, but this one test takes 5 minutes and cannot sort the results. Sort to find the most clones. This first item has over 1,000 clones and was written before shared clones were introduced. Sort by highest callers. Highest scan time. This is a relative order of complexity. The first VI is broken, very old LabVIEW, and not in memory. This time is also how long it takes to open. Can we really estimate how long it takes to open a VI that is not in memory? Let's open it to find out. Here in the status bar is the elapsed time to open this VI. Closing an older VI prompts for the option to save or defer, which I find annoying. So I will just close it. Sorting 44 columns can be performed 88 different ways, but Property Inspector can optionally perform compound sorting by 2 or more columns, creating over 3,700 combinations. Behind the scenes, sorting uses up to 4 criteria to improve the results. You can even sort hidden columns using the sort menu. One last sort option is unique to Property Inspector. At any time, you can revert back to the original unsorted order. The third level is searching. The Project Explorer window searches only for text included in the name, extension, or file path. Property Inspector searches all 44 properties individually by 11 inclusive and exclusive criteria, creating over 230 unique combinations. All is a bonus property that combines all the strings together to create a quick global search or global exclusion. Rather than perform searches, then show how the last 9 are saved in the history, I will quickly show 9 searches from the history. Here are some impossible searches. Item type contains strict. Note the status bar shows the number of strict type defs. Execution state equals bad. LabVIEW can only find bad VIs if they are in memory. Search description is blank. I can type edit text and replace this field in a single click for multiple VIs without even opening the VIs first. Search VI version less than 8. Notice this is a numeric search. In memory is false. Notice the oldest VIs are not in memory. Search date modified less than 2010. Notice searching the year is treated differently than an exact date. File size greater than 500K. Notice metric syntax is allowed. Next, I'm going to search for reentrant is true. More than 11% of the filtered objects are reentrant. For this last search, I will disable search on select, then recall the history reentrancy type contains pre, then click search in to search the current result. This is a compound search. More than 4% of the objects are pre-allocated. There are over 57,000 combinations of 2 searches and over 13 million with 3 searches. There is no limit to the number of compound searches. New in Property Inspector 4 is a custom list of 12 compound searches that can be repeated with a single keystroke. This first item is a compound search with 4 searches. When I select this search, the first search replaces the search contents and the full description shows here in the status bar. If it does not fit, it can be seen in the tip strip. If the status bar shows something else, it is always available as a tip strip in the filter button. If the filter button is disabled, the full description remains here. Clicking the filter button again will rerun the same filter. Up to 24 different filters can be accessed in a single click. The fourth level is selection. Property Inspector supports the same 3 selection methods as the Project Explorer. You can select a single item, hold Control to select individual items, or hold Shift to select a group. There are 12 other selections, some that improve on existing methods. There is Select All, Deselect All, Invert Selection, Select from Project, Select to Project, Select Previous, which will go back 1 selection, Select Group, Select Callers, Select Background Updates, Select Opened Windows, Select Open Windows, Show Only Selected Items, and Copy Selection that copies this current selection of the clipboard. A background scan of the current view keeps track of all changed VIs, saved or not, and Select Background will select all of them. The 2 window features I will cover in a separate video about the Window Manager. Now, let me sort by callers to find VIs with a lot of callers. This VI has 235 callers and this one has 94. I want to open the diagrams of all callers of both VIs. In the Select menu, we have Select a Project. This function has the same keyboard shortcut as the one in LabVIEW that works on a single VI. Here are both VIs selected in Project Explorer. Project Explorer will only show the callers of a single VI and presents a modal dialog that takes me to 1 caller back in the project. To see the block diagrams takes 3 steps for each VI and the same for the other VI. I cannot tell which VIs call both. In Property Inspector, I go to Select, Select Callers, and there are 295 callers of both VIs. Notice I can open all of the diagrams of all of the callers of multiple VIs in only 2 keystrokes. There are too many VIs to open all at once without crashing LabVIEW, so it'd be better to open them in small groups. This seems impossible because these items are spread out in the project. The 5th level is to filter by selection. Under Select, show only selected items. Here are the 295 items together. The 6th level is a separate selection of a filter of selected objects. Back to Select, Select Group. I can now work on my selection in groups. The group size is found here in Settings. Now I can go to View, Open Block Diagrams, shortcut Control E, and here is a group of 12 block diagrams without any front panels visible. I'll go to Window, close selected windows to close all 24 windows. Note that the main VI is still open. Notice that I can easily select the next group and open those block diagrams. Now let's talk about batch editing. There are 6 powerful edit modes. Match is the closest equivalent to the standard LabVIEW function where all the others are completely different. Unlike LabVIEW, Match can replace the matching text with nothing. Prepend will insert at the beginning. Append is useful to add copyright notice to all descriptions. Replace will step on the entire contents. And Remove will erase the entire contents or set it to 0. There's one more new mode that is incredibly powerful. Sometimes you want to modify the existing contents manually or just duplicate an existing item. Right-clicking on any single field will copy the field to the Edit text box and the clipboard. Let's choose a sample search of Allow Debugging is True. Notice this search already has the edit mode set to Remove. I can select all and remove the setting and later replace it back with True. Maybe first I should filter out the broken VIs, older versions, or instead simply include only the VIs in memory. There are 10 editable Boolean properties. Next is the sample search. Description starts with uses template 2. This template text should not be left here. Property Inspector not only removes this template text, but it removes the entire description. Search Runtime menu is not blank. This field was accidentally left in the previous developer's template, and this menu does not exist. This error can be found in the Project Explorer's dependencies. Remove will clear them all at once. Manually clearing this on each VI takes 8 steps. Next is the sample search, reentrancy type contains pre. I can edit the reentrancy type to shared just by putting an S in the edit field. You can also edit the password to protect or unprotect any number of VIs. One of the most important things to note here is you can edit a different property than you searched for. For example, if you search for a reentrant and pre-allocated, you can then edit the description to append a note about the reentrancy of the VI. Property Inspector can execute both Quick Drop and VI Analyzer scripts. Instead of running a script on a single diagram, you can run it on an entire project. Quick Drop scripts can be run on either the front panel or block diagram and can contain a string as a parameter. Property Inspector keeps a separate history of the last 9 of each script executed. Natify is a popular script that sets 10 preferences of the VI and can take the letter P to skip the panel cleanup. Standard or custom VI scripts can be used for searches by enabling update selections on failures. I wrote a simple search for not icon view and a separate script to set the icon view. Merge error styles is a standard unmodified VI Analyzer test that can be run in seconds on selected VIs. There are 2 powerful UI features that you need to see. Let's search item type for strict. Then select all 192 items. Notice the first item is end of queue to push control. I'll turn off the filter and show all object types. Then we will sort by item type. Notice the same objects are still selected. This feature is called persistent selection. Notice the end of queue to push control is still in the same location. This feature is called static selection. Other features worth mentioning are delete selected VIs that deletes multiple objects from multiple locations in a single click, including virtual folders and LLBs, and export results writes the entire results to a spreadsheet file. One last feature you will not believe. Let's recall the first favorite search, reentrant VIs in memory. Select Group. Now in the View menu, select Retain Wire Values. Now back to the View menu, open First Clone Block Diagram. We now have 12 clone VIs open without opening the main VI first, and everyone has retained values enabled. Getting here from Project Explorer takes 84 steps. This is the perfect feature for Actor Framework. Property Inspector 4 is now available on the Tools Network with a 30-day unrestricted trial. Thank you for watching, and look for the separate video on the Window Manager.